Hey, what's going on, guys? I love my dad's coming back with another video, and today I'm actually going to be talking about March Madness. So I'm going to do my predictions of what I think is going to go on in the tournament this year. I think it's going to be a little crazy, another crazy one. So if you wonder why I'm looking to the side, I got my bracket to the side of me here. So I love upsets. I always pick way too many. So this year I tried to cut down on them a bit, but obviously there's going to be some, otherwise a lot of people have been making perfect brackets. So I'm going to start with the Duke and NC Central or North Dakota State game. Obviously, I'm going with the Duke here, number one overall seed in the tournament. 16 seeds only beaten a 1 seed one time, which happened last year, obviously, with UMBC. So I'm going with Duke there. VCU, UCF, battle of the alphabet, I like to call it. But I think UCF's going to take it here. VCU is a very good team, but UCF with Taco Fall is definitely a really competitive team, and I think they're going to beat VCU in a close one. Mississippi State, Liberty is the first upset I picked. I think Liberty is going to beat Mississippi State. Mississippi State's been very inconsistent this year, and I really don't like them coming out of the SEC, which has been a big up and down conference this year between them, Tennessee. Kentucky's been really the only consistent one going to the end of the season. So I'm taking Liberty there. Virginia Tech over St. Louis. Virginia Tech's getting Justin Robinson back. Obviously a huge boost for them. In St. Louis, I just don't think it's a very strong team. I think 13 seed was the highest they could possibly get. But congrats to them for winning their conference tournament and getting in. Next one, I got another upset. I got Belmont beating Temple and then beating Maryland. Every year there's been an 11 seed or, a team in the first four that has gone on to get to second round. And I think Belmont's going to be that team this year. And then with the LSU-Yale game, I know a lot of people have speculated an upset here due to the coaching issues with LSU. And as much as I would want to pick that, I know last year I would have, but I'm going to stay with LSU here. I don't think there's going to be too many 14-3 upsets. I think I picked one in my bracket, but I think LSU is going to hang on there. And then going to the 7-10 matchup, we have Louisville, Minnesota. I'm taking Minnesota, Richard Pitino, going back and coaching against his dad's old team. I think this is going to be a really great matchup, but I think Minnesota's going to win on the boards, and I think they actually average about 11.7 offensive rebounds a game, which I think is going to be the ultimate determinant of that game. And then Michigan State over Bradley. Michigan State has lost as a 2 seed before, but I don't see them going down to Bradley. Going down the bracket to the West, so I have Gonzaga winning that 1 versus 16 matchup. Again, there's not going to be a 1 seed that goes down this year, I don't believe. Interesting matchup with Syracuse and Baylor. I do think Syracuse is going to win this one. They always pick up their game in March. Jim Boeheim does a really great job with the 2-3 zone. So I think they're definitely going to take out Baylor. Marquette, Murray State. This is going to be probably the most exciting game of round one. We got Marcus Howard on Marquette and Ja Morant of Murray State. A lot of people are picking Murray State here because of Ja Morant being a top 3 pick in the NBA draft, we think. But I'm actually going with Marquette. I think Marcus Howard is going to come off that wrist injury. I think he's going to be fine. And as good as Ja Morant is, Murray State just doesn't really have enough around them to convince me that they can beat Marquette. I think Marquette has a bit more around them. They have a better rebounding statistic as well. So I'm taking Marquette in that one. And then Florida State versus Vermont. Vermont's a really good team, but Florida State has been on fire lately, only losing in the semifinals in the ACC tournament. That is a huge accomplishment for them. I think they beat Vermont pretty handily. Buffalo, Arizona State, and St. John's. So I'm going to say Arizona State beat St. John's, but Buffalo is going to beat Arizona State. I think only one team out of the first 4 is going to get through, and I already picked Belmont. So I'm taking Buffalo here. Their fast-paced offense is going to be a really good one, and I think they're going to get past easily. Texas Tech, Northern Kentucky. I don't love Texas Tech, but I also don't love Northern Kentucky. I think Texas Tech's going to win that one. Um, that could be a potential upset, but I think Texas Tech is a bit more of a complete team than Northern Kentucky. Obviously, I think they have a lot more talent, so I'm taking Texas Tech in this one. Nevada, Florida, that's another really good matchup, but I think Florida's going to take it. I think they have the experience necessary, and their defense has been stellar. They had a good run in the SEC tournament, actually beating LSU, which has really solidified their spot in the tournament. So I'm taking Florida over Nevada. And then Michigan, Montana, ironically, the same matchup from last year. I'm taking Michigan to win again, which is going to set up a really good matchup in the second round with Florida. Those are my two favorite teams. I got the Michigan hat right here. But that's going to be a really good matchup. Going to the South region now, Virginia. They're not going to lose 2 years in a row. They're definitely going to be fired up and ready to go against Gardner-Webb, so they're gonna beat them. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. It's going to be a good game. It's definitely a different Oklahoma team from last year with Trae Young and their offense. They've been more dependent on defense this year, but I'm taking Ole Miss in this one. I think Ole Miss is going to get enough from their offense, and they're both good defensive teams, but I think Ole Miss is a little more consistent on the offensive side. Another big upset pick that has been going around is Oregon over Wisconsin. Everyone's worried about Ethan Happ because he hasn't been as consistent lately, but as much as I'd like to pick this upset, I'm going with Wisconsin here. Their defense is really stellar. I think they're going to shut down Oregon. I think this will be a competitive game. I think it'll go down to maybe last possession or last two possessions, but I do think that Wisconsin's going to pull it out. And then to go with a 13-4 upset, I'm taking UC Irvine over Kansas State. I think UC Irvine's a really fantastic team. They have a lot of great athletes, and I can see them being a Cinderella this year going into the tournament. They've dominated all year in their own conference and have done really well, and I don't know if Kansas State is going to be ready for them. The 6-11 matchup, Villanova-St. Mary's. I'm going Villanova here. Villanova has the experience, and I think they have a lot left in the tank to go. Jay Wright really turns his teams up going into March, so I think these guys are going to be raring and ready to go, and they take out St. Mary's. Purdue, Old Dominion, I almost picked this going in Old Dominion's favor, but I think Purdue just has too much size. I'm not a big believer in Purdue, but I do think they will beat Old Dominion, even though Old Dominion does like to slow the game down. I think Purdue is just going to out physical them, I guess we want to say, and take that one. Cincinnati, Iowa. Cincinnati has basically a home game here. They're playing in Columbus against Iowa. I think Cincinnati is going to take this one pretty handily. 7-10 matchup. Iowa's been very back and forth this year, very inconsistent. And in March, the biggest thing is you have to be consistent. So I'm taking Cincinnati, and then Tennessee over Colgate. This game might be a little competitive in the beginning, but Tennessee should be able to knock them right down. North Carolina over Iona in the Midwest. North Carolina is a really great team. 1 point away from winning the SEC tournament against Duke. So I think they're going to make a good run. Utah State and Washington. Washington was the Pac regular season winner, but Utah State, I have them winning. Again, going back to the consistency, Utah State's been a bit more consistent than Washington, so I'm taking Utah State there. Auburn, New Mexico is another one where people are thinking upset. New Mexico had a really good regular season, but they haven't really played that much competition, so I'm taking Auburn in this one. They're riding their SEC championship pretty hot, so I think they're going to make a good run in the tournament. And then Kansas, Northeastern. I'm taking Kansas. I don't love Kansas, but Northeastern's just not the team to knock them off. I think it was either last year or 2 years ago Northeastern had a really good team, so I would have picked them then. This year, I don't think they're the same kind of team. Obviously they're a good team because they made it in the tournament, but I don't think they're going to have enough to beat Kansas. Iowa State, Ohio State. This is kind of a tough game to pick. Both teams are kind of inconsistent, and it makes it hard for me to be able to pick them. But I'm going Ohio State in an 11-6 upset. 11 seeds have been known to win more than the 6 seeds in recent years, so I'm going Ohio State. And then Houston, Georgia State. This is the 1-3-14 upset that I really wanted to pick, but I just couldn't get myself to do it. So Houston wins over Georgia State. I don't think Houston's a very strong 3 seed, losing to Cincinnati in their tournament final, conference tournament final. But I think that's going to be a really good game to watch. Georgia State, low key, very good team. Wofford and Seton Hall. This is interesting. Wofford obviously undefeated in their conference, have been riding a big winning streak. But again, it comes down to the competition, and I don't think they've played the same competition as Seton Hall. Seton Hall's been playing Villanova, Marquette, tournament teams. Wofford really doesn't have the same kind of thing. It's been a great run for them, but I don't think they're going to beat Seton Hall. I think Seton Hall wins. And then Kentucky against Abilene Christian. Kentucky. So I don't. That's going to be my first round predictions. Let me know what you guys think below, and if you want me to keep going through my bracket. I haven't completely finished it because I made a lot of changes even 2 hours after I started it. So I'm not done, but if you guys want to let me know what you picked in the comment section below, I'd love to hear it. If you think I picked something that was really stupid, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation about it and see what you guys think. Thanks for watching the video, and again, let me know if you want me to do my round of 32 and throw it to the championship game, and I will definitely be able to do that. Thanks for watching, and peace out.